Hey y'all, Achieved here. This is my first achievement guide for Elden Ring, and it is for Margit the Fell Omen, so let's get it. You're going to head to the Castle Work Tunnel. You can head north from the Stormhill Shack and bear off to the left side, and it'll take you here naturally. There is an NPC summon you can use outside, Rajier the Sorceress. It'll make it a little bit easier, and you can also use your spirit summons, which I did not in this battle because I didn't have the bell yet, but they'll make everything easier for you. The boss has around 6,200 health, and he only has one phase, but he gets a new weapon at about 75% health. The boss has a very long range with that spike that he's using, but his attacks are pretty predictable, so it's pretty easy to dodge out of the way of most of those. He also has that little light blade that you've seen right there. It's much faster than the spike that he's using, so it's a little bit harder to dodge or expect it to come out. If you're fighting the boss one-on-one, there's a couple things you need to look out for. He has a move where he brings his spike high up in the air with both hands, and it's a very long wind-up, and it's a very wide-ranged attack, like this right here. And he can chase you for quite a ways, so if you got your distance, he can still chase you down and get you that way. He also has the light blades that you've seen him use a few times, and they are meant to attack you from a distance. They are supposed to interrupt your use of magic or healing items, and they are generally meant to stop you from keeping that distance. When he gets to 75% health, and it was 50% this time just because of how his health was being drained, but at 75% health, he will bust out that giant hammer made of light. It will very easily one-shot you, even at full health, so it's best to keep your distance from that one. If you like to keep your distance like I do, he will use the hammer by jumping really high up in the air, and it has a long wind up, and then he slams down on the spot where you are, just like this. It's pretty easy to dodge because it has a really long animation though. If you are a fan of melee instead of magic, he will use the hammer in his left hand, and it'll be a much faster wind up than the one where he jumps up, but it's still easy enough to dodge because you can see it coming from like a mile and a half away. The recommended level, I'll say that with a grain of salt because the game just came out, but the recommended level to beat this guy is 20 to 25, and I think I was level 13 or 14 here. I'd only upgraded once or twice. So it's definitely possible. You might have to do a little brute force, but it's, as far as first bosses go for a game, I think it's pretty good. And that's everything, so just enjoy the next minute or so that this fight takes, and I'll catch you guys in the next boss guide.